I know
Yeah.
that there's going to be people watching this that have a fairly large sum of digital assets that I anticipate to go significantly higher. So let's say they're a centimillionaire. People crush it. They make a ton of money with these investments. If you want to diversify across multiple jurisdictions and make sure that things were structured in a way to protect yourself, I know that you're super proficient with that. So I want to make sure people get a chance to hear you talk about some of that before we go.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that. You're correct. So the PPLI industry is global. There are carriers right here in the United States that issue domestic PPLI policies that do, exactly what they need to do. And they're good products for US folks who, have investment and custody goals within the United States. When you deal with an international family, you want to look for more international service providers, which we have relationships with all of the international, PPLI service providers around the world. And there are a couple of differences there. So when you work with these offshore groups, one of the things you'll see is you get opportunities for international custody and management. So as I mentioned before with the investor control rule, the client is not holding or directing these assets. Somebody else is. So that could be somebody right here in the States, like Digital Ascension Group, but maybe you've already given, you guys are already managing a big portion of crypto, and there's another pocket of this person's wealth that they might like cut in Switzerland or somewhere else in Europe. When you deal with an offshore PPLI provider, those types of services can often come available to you. So whether you're a US person with some international family or you want to leave or you're a non-US person, these carriers can work with folks all around the world. And the same applies to, a trust company that might create a trust to own the PPLI. You're able to accomplish out all of this, without being restricted to the United States. And in fact, doing it outside of the United States gives you more of that flexibility. Another example of that isn't necessarily digital asset related yet, but certainly could be in the future, is foreign currency diversification. So some US people who live here and may not even be intending to leave, but they believe in diversifying across different currencies, probably a lot similar to what you see in crypto. They have to go offshore for that to say, hey, maybe I want to make an investment in the yen, or I want to invest in this currency or that. Offshore is going to give you that flexibility. So that's an important consideration, is that if one of your goals or you think something that would add value is custody or investment outside of the United States, you're going to want to speak with a consultant who has a lot of expertise and experience with offshore PPLI. There's no right answer for, oh, offshore is better than onshore. That's not the way it works. They serve different goals.